Hello, this is YoSensei. In today's session, we are going to learn how to translate Rhino file of built environment like house into Twinmotion. And there are a lot of different small things that you need to be careful about it when you're doing it. So let's get to that. First, what you need to have is to install Twinmotion. And so you can go to twinmotion.com and download this program. It's a super powerful program, and you should watch their demo videos that are very, very powerful. Then you go to this website, unrealengine.com. Well, I will somehow post a link, but you can just Google Twinmotion plugins, and then you will get to this site and direct link for Rhino, either Windows or Mac, and then download this and install it on your computer. It works either for Rhino for Mac and Windows and version 5 and 6, and you will have the choice to do that. On Windows, if you're not running as an administrator mode, it will not install the program. So you have to be the administrator to run this program. Okay, so that is that. And so we're gonna go back to Rhino, and I will post. If you want to use this sample file that we work on, you can use it. But if you just want to download what's already there, you can also do that too. Okay, so we have this kind of house that we built in the previous class, and so it looks like this, and it's a relatively simple thing, and so we are going to translate this file into Twinmotion file. So first thing that you want to do is if you have a lot of construction curves that you have created during building this program, run cell curve command, SELCRV, cell curve command, and hide, or you can delete it. I'm just going to delete it because I don't need it. You may probably have some dimensions or points. You can type cell dim to delete it, and then cell PT for selecting points. So clean up your file and just get rid of anything that is not necessary in this file. Before doing that, I think it's a great idea for you to close all the programs and that you have. In a lot of cases, a lot of people have Adobe and Photoshop and Illustrator and Rhino and Twinmotion and Unreal and all these things. These are very processor intensive programs, so you definitely don't want to put too much stress on your computer. Twinmotion is very unstable, so it may crash your computer. So just keep your computer to be very, very safe level. What I normally do is I just quit all of my apps and then just reboot computer, just open Rhino and Twinmotion. So that's it. So selected curves. So then what you want to do next is that you want to identify you would like, it's nice to have these layers that we are here. So layers, and what you need to do is create all these layers by the materials. And then you also have to assign some kind of material into it. So for example, I am going to create, a little concrete foundation like this, concrete. And then I am going to assign this into concrete layer. And what we also need to have is each layer is going to be assigned with some kind of material. So when you bring this into Twinmotion, Twinmotion is going to recognize your Rhino file by materials, and they will group everything that has the same material. So what you need to do is you just need to come up with some kind of color for these for these materials, and just change it slightly so that it's going to be different from everything else. So that would be the concrete. And the glass, I already have materials assigned. And so when it comes to, so maybe I can just take this one and add it to wood flooring, and yeah, and maybe these are, okay. So when it comes to exterior wall and interior wall, it's going to be very difficult to have just both same material on the inside and the outside. So what I would like to do is to just separate them into different layers. So in this case, I'm just going to select this object that is all wall, and go into this light bubble command, and inside of it there is isolate objects. And what this command is going to do is it's going to hide everything else but this one. So that's nice. So now I am going to explode this object, and then only take the outer face of this object, okay, and join them. And then put this into wall exterior layer. And then everything else I'm just going to hide, and then take all of these, join. Everything else is joined, and then this is going to go into wall interior layer. Maybe I should have made these edges exterior. You know what? I should do that. So I'm just going to explode again, and I'm going to take these window ledges that are kind of exterior. So I will take these, join, and then put it into wall exterior, and hide, and then join everything else. And I'm going to run show selected command, show selected, and only select the roof. Okay, so I have this reminder of wall and the roof. So outside of the roof, it should have some kind of material that is outdoor material, but the ceiling should have a different material. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this one and split this roof with my wall. So now this object is divided into this outside roof, which I'm going to put it into metal black frame, and also put the ceiling into ceiling layer. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to show everything else again, and get into this house. And this one is going to be interior wall interior. And I think the door should be wood. So I'm going to call this door to be wood wood furniture. Okay, and I think that stairs should be also flooring. So I'm just going to select the stairs and then put them into flooring. Second floor, I am going to explode this one, and then control click, or in Rhino's case, command click to deselect the top face, and then join. And joining the bottom half that are going to be ceiling, and then this face is going to be wood flooring. So you explode, but you still hang on to the ones that you need to hang on to. And these ones are frame and frame. Okay, so in this case, all these frames are from previous layer. So select objects on this layer, and then metal brag frame. Okay. So so what I did was I just organized materials into these layers, and then you and all of your layers have to have the materials assigned to it somehow. And one good way to check if your file is ready to go is when you hide all these layers, then it's going to just show whatever is not hidden. So I think this one is ready to go. So that concludes the Rhino part. Okay, in this section, let's talk about how to move file from Rhino to Twinmotion. So if you have installed Twinmotion, you should have this menu on top of it. So we go into options, and we set organization to be merged by material. So what that means is that Twinmotion is going to group all of the objects that are in the same layer, and then it's going to apply the same material. And the other option, merge by layer, if this was possible, then we could just organize things in Rhino and then get it organized in Twinmotion. But I tried, and this option didn't work very nicely. So merge by material is recommended. Everything else is pretty good, so just say OK. And then you go to Twinmotion 2020 and synchronize. And so at this point, I would like to talk a little bit about the spec. So please check the spec sheet of Twinmotion and see the compatibility. It uses tremendous level of graphics memory, and I have Radeon Pro 580, but it's very unstable. So the best one is to get it with NVIDIA video card on Windows. Okay, so say okay. So I have this house on Twinmotion. Okay, so I actually did a pretty good job in terms of getting the materials and things like that. So the first thing that I would like to do is so what if I want to change something in Rhino and then go back to Twinmotion. So this is incredible. So you can go outside in Rhino, and then, I would like to put this box here. And I would like this one to have the aluminum metal texture to it. Okay. And okay, cool. Maybe I can change some layers and things like that. Click Twinmotion 2020, synchronize again. And it's going to open this file here, which is pretty amazing. So that's nice. So the next thing that I would like to do is to talk about new project versus existing project. Okay, so I'm just gonna save this file. Oops. On Macintosh version, you have to click on this top bar to activate the program for some reasons. So I'm gonna go to save, and then I'm going to save this file somewhere as tinyhouse02. And so I close this program. Okay, so the next time we start from Rhino and we have, something like this, and then we synchronize. You don't want to start over from scratch because you've already started creating the file. So what you need to do is to, in the opening screen of Twinmotion, you have to click create existing project, say okay, and then click on the file that you have been working on. it's a good idea to put all of your Rhino file in the same folder, Rhino Twinmotion file in the same folder, because it's going to create custom textures in the same folder. So you want to keep this in the same location at all time. So so now we are in Twinmotion, and this is a super powerful thing. So materials. So materials, we talked a little bit. So the navigation of Twinmotion, you need to practice. So you push the A, D, A. I think we are going to do this on a separate tutorial, but essentially you use A to move sideways, D to move right side, W to move forward, S to come back, and then you're always dragging on the right mouse. So you just have to get used to it. So materials. So we have materials, all the materials here. And also on the right side here, there is scenograph. So you can say which material is I didn't do a good job in terms of organizing materials, so it's a little bit of a mess, but everything is merged by material. So what I'm going to do is go to concrete and find a nice concrete for my slab. This is a nice concrete. So I have this concrete slab. And for the exterior wall, I am going to go to metal and find nice corrugated aluminum panel. Ooh, cool. And on the window frame, I would like to have some kind of like really darkish metal. So brushed aluminum, but changing color, darker color. Okay. Twinmotion has better glass, so we can just find clear glass or two-sided frosted item glass. So clear glass. And on the, okay, so we are inside, and now we can find our wood. And so there are a bunch of wood flooring options. These are pretty nice. So this is really cool. But I don't really like the scale of this. So you can just change the scale right here. It's so easy, right? And then you want to change the orientation of this. So I'm going to click for more, and then click on rotation. And then you can just type number 90 or 90 degree transition. So I have that, and for interior side, I could go to wall coverings and matte painted wall for this one, and matte painted wall for this one. But I would like to maybe change the color of my mezzanine to be black. So what you can do is you can click on this eyedropper tool, which is material picker. So you can pick this material and then change color. Okay, so so the ceiling color is black. That's kind of cool. Okay, and then we can go into, so whenever you want to sample the material and modify it, you can use the eyedropper tool to sample it and choose existing material. In this one, I'm going to select a wood that is, a little bit darker. And in this case, again, you can go inside of more of scale and then change rotation by 90 degrees. Okay, well, that's cool. Um, so I don't really like how these stairs are looking like because the grain feels wrong. So I'm going to go back to Rhino and go inside. Interface is different, so it's kind of weird. But I will select all of the stairs and then change this to wood furniture instead of wood flooring. And then, well, let's save Rhino file and then click Twinmotion and synchronize. So it changed the material. That's really amazing. Okay, so that we have. So that is the very basic of Twinmotion materials. So the next step we're gonna do is furniture and objects. So if you click on this part and going up, the top layer of this section is library. And you can go inside of objects and home and living room and tables. You can find pretty cool tables. So I could just drop this in here. When you drop in an object, as you are moving, the surface it's going to touch is going to be the bottom surface. So, just be careful how you do it. But once you have the object, you can click on this, and this handle is going to let you rotate your objects 90 degrees. And then this one is going to let you move. So somewhere around here is good. Maybe you can build a kitchen. And so in this case, I could go into living room, sofas, and find, like some gorgeous sofa, and then click on this this mark, and then you can just rotate it this way. This is move, and find like a coffee table. Yeah. Yeah, coffee table, and then you can go to like electronic appliances and then wall TV. Boom. Okay, so also we can go up to the second level. We can put bedroom and beds and nice bed. This house is very undone, so it needs to have a lot of objects, but we can even like put living room tables and outdoor set like this one here. It's kind of nice, nice design. So that is how you put materials, the super basic version of it. So we save here. Okay, so the next step is putting characters and humans. So we are not going to go super deep into it, but one tip is to save your file right here because it's very unstable and it did actually crash on me. So it's a good idea to save frequently. So I have a bunch of, cool characters here. So I can, ooh. Existing project and find the same file. Okay, so it was good that we saved right before. Now I am going to save and quit Rhino because we are not going back to Rhino and to save some memory. So now I have this and I'm gonna go into this and find character and animated humans. So Chris is going to be here. Okay. So Chris is standing and looking at his watch. So he's just doing that. But I can get him to pose and sit be sitting. And by the way, selecting object and pressing F key on your keyboard is going to focus. So in Rhino, that's the ZSA. So for this guy, I'm going to turn him around and kind of get him to sit on the chair. Okay. Yeah, somehow it's not that perfect, but he's sitting on the chair. We go inside and we have, maybe one person is, yeah. So, she's kind of like standing by the dining table, just doing nothing. I could also get her, same person, to sit, and she's drinking tea on the couch. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, so and then there's another person. It's kind of weird to populate the house with a bunch of different people because it's just weird. Anyways, so we have the humans, right? So one thing that I want to stress is when you have humans like this, it's nice. It will render really nicely. But when you actually focus too much on the human, like this, it looks very video game like. Okay, so when you render something, render with people, kind of use it as a relatively, long shot and far view, so that you don't focus too much on the human. So that would be nice. Okay, so the next part is landscape and creating context. So in this case, I'm just going to save again. Save. Okay, so always be in the habit of saving. There is an auto save option. You can check it out. So now what we need to do is we can go into the settings tab, which is a blue one right here, and go into location. And what I see is this house is like somewhere in the forest. So you can click on localization, background, picture, and countryside. So that would be the overall background. Now we will change the ground plane. So ground plane, we can go into materials and ground, and then nature, and find something like grass that would work okay for you. For some reasons, my landscape is slightly above the ground plane. So in that case, I can just take the landscape and bring it up slightly so that ground plane is brought it up. So that's good. So this is a beautiful grass field, but we just want to do a very, very simple tree around the house. So I'm going to change my view like this. And now I'm going to go into context and vegetation paint. And in this case, we are going to be able to paint with trees. So I'm going to select something that's dense, horse chestnut, and drag and drop the trees from the top to the bottom. Pecan, And something that is like pretty dense. Mix combine. I have no idea how this is like super accurate locally. So click on this, and the whole density is 30%, and the diameter is a brush. So let's just close this. Oh no, I have to go to vegetation paint, click all of these, and then click on the paint button so that you can paint. So I think it's pretty good in a way that it hides a lot of things. So you don't want to go too much because if you have too much vegetation, your file is going to be heavy also. So I click on my house and then go down and go down to a view. So the goal here to hide pretty much whatever the view that we have. So it's kind of not too not dense enough. So I'm gonna go up and look down on my landscape. So click on these painted trees, delete it, delete this, and then go to context again, vegetation paint, and that was all reset. So I guess we didn't have to. Maybe we could control the density after the fact. Let's see what's going to do. So a bunch of trees, and then select them. And density is 30%. I'm going to increase the density higher so that I have to click on the paint button. So now it's more dense. So it's going to be dense enough so that everything else is hidden when you collapse the view. Okay, that's good enough. So I go back to here, press F10, F as a focus button. Okay, so this is pretty good. So now we are going to render, so to change the direction of the sun or how the sun time of the day, you can click on this eye mark, and then daytime you can change the this is kind of nice afternoon western light, and this is nice morning light. So so I like this light. Okay, so now I'm going to go into media and images and create image. And so this is going to be saved image. But I can still go inside of the more section on the image. And what I normally do is I go to camera setting, and this is parallelism on. So what it does is that it changes the camera and always get these vertical lines, which is really nice. So that's good. You can do, field of view. This is lens length and depth of field. Depth of field is kind of nice. Yeah, it kind of, changes the focus. But actually, let's turn this off for now. Okay, so this would be my first view. You can go into your image and then click on this recapture mark so that it's going to be updated setting. I'm going inside. It's weird to have these people inside, but it's fine. So create image again, image 2, more, and camera, and then parallelism on. And in this case, I would like to change the exposure of lighting to be a little bit brighter. global illumination is on, shadows on, so that's good. So then you will go to export and click on empty, and then you can select these two images and then start export. So when you export this on desktop, which is going to take a few, I think it's going to take very, very short time. So two high quality images. Yeah, this, animated people looks just very video gamey. So try not to use them as close-ups. But I think something like this is completely acceptable when you're kind of far away and kind of, looks more. So in conclusion, in today's lesson, we have learned the way to transfer 3D model that are built inside of Rhino and set up the file for Twinmotion and open in Twinmotion. So what we did was we prepared the Rhino file and inside of Twinmotion, we applied materials, furniture and objects, characters, tree and landscape. And we ended up with rendering still images. So this is a very comprehensive general tutorial of what it is. And we are going to do more video series of very specific situations of lighting and especially interior lighting for nights and landscape, more closer tutorial on landscape. Urban condition, how to create urban conditions of road and cars and things like that. And one video of exterior renderings and interior renderings. So there's more to come, so stay tuned. Okay, see you.